Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to another Flex's View, man. A big Flex's View because we need to keep calm. Yes, we do. After yesterday's loss, of course, everyone's in meltdown. Well, not everyone. That's really unfair. Not everyone, actually. It isn't everyone. There's some people in meltdown. Online has just gone crazy. Eric's lose his job, some people are saying. And there are actually quite a few people who are on more of a calm vibe and like just kind of dissecting what we saw yesterday versus what we didn't see and not having a knee-jerk reaction. So I wanted to give my opinion on that. It's always good to do that the day after the game. This is why Flex's View was created. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we all got opinions on the game, and in the heat of the moment, when you've just watched it or as you're observing it, it can always make you feel very different to how you are after 24 hours, or well, not even 24 hours yet, but you get my drift. The next day, once you take it in, you might see some more highlights. You might see extended highlights. Some people watch the game back. Some people see clips and replays. And also, some people, we have discussions amongst ourselves, innit? And you can speak to other people and see how they view it. Then you might actually change your view or understand different points from what other people are saying about why it was shit or why it was good, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, of course, you've got to make your own decisions. But I do feel that it isn't... Some people, you know, have an opinion straight away after the game and that's it. It ain't changing. I know what I saw. That was shit. Or I know what I saw. That was actually very good. Nothing to worry about. But sometimes the conversation could be a bit more nuanced than that. It can be a bit more like, well, actually, let's break down what we actually saw now with Karma and we've got a different head. So that's the headspace I'm in. And although I stand by that there was kind of more questions than answers. And when I said that, what I meant by that was like, there's a bit of a... Gary Neville kind of alluded to it as well, because I was watching his Gary Neville podcast when he sums up the weekend's games. And he was sort of saying, well, yeah, we need to pick a system, stick with that. We're doing a false nine. We kind of look better with Mason Mount in there, but with Mason Mount and Bruno, with no focal point, that doesn't quite help. We're changing the centre-backs during the game. That doesn't help with the continuity. So that's what... It's basically the same thing of what he's saying. That there's a few more questions to be asked, and it's like we don't really know the answers, or we need to get the answers so that we can stick at one thing. And it is true. I saw Joe from Stretford Paddock after I kind of done my piece. I saw that floating around online as well. Big up to him. And he gave a good account of himself as well, or of his opinion. And a lot of people agreed with it in terms of, you know, just keep calm. It's on the players. The players need to carry out the instructions, etc., etc. And then I saw obviously the extreme of like, this is why Ten Hag should be sacked. And that's where I just think it's this total bollocks, really, in my opinion. This is my view on it. I think that's total crap to see yesterday, and that's the reason he should be sacked, in my opinion. I don't get that. Like, it's the second game of the season. I would say that in the first half especially, we played the game. I saw us play how I want to see us play. I want to see us have that identity. We were pressing from the front. We were winning the ball back. And clearly, that is the instruction. That is the team we want to look like. Obviously, we want to see that application throughout the whole game. We don't want to see it for half an hour. We don't want to see it for just 45 minutes. And we don't want to play in spells. Obviously, Eric Ten Hag is not telling them, go out there and make sure you only execute this game plan for 45 minutes. But also, there's a little bit of a sample size in there to go, well, they are capable of doing it. The problem is the consistency of doing that over the game. Now, this isn't going to be a Flex's View just praising Ten Hag and saying it's all the players. I'm going to get to Ten Hag in a minute, but I'm just talking about style of play and what our instructions are versus what the actual reasons were that we ended up losing. You know what I mean? Because from a fundamentals point of view and playing how we're supposed to play or what we want to see, we would all agree that there was nothing wrong with what we was doing, especially in that first 30, 35 minutes. There was nothing wrong with what we were doing. And if you did watch that, if you watched Mason Mount going after Billy Gilmore, making sure he couldn't turn and nicking the ball off him, and if you watched Bruno pressing and Rashford also pressing and Garnacho pressing and Kobbie Mainoo getting regains of the ball, if you watched that and said, this is shit, I don't want my team to play like this, then you're just a hater and you just want to be proved right. Fact. I don't care. Like, if you're seeing us do all right in them moments and you're saying, see, there's no plan, this is not what it is, then you're just trying to, I don't know, it's like you just maybe stuck in the negative vibe. That's how I see it. If you pick out the things that were actually wrong and say, well, this is what happened there and this is what happened where, which is where it went to go wrong, then that's what I believe is correct. That's what we should be doing. But this whole thing of like, there's no plan, the players were just thrown out there. Well, no, that's not entirely true. Well, no, it's just not true. You could see what we were trying to be. You could see what we were trying to do. And I saw that with my own eyes to the point where as soon as Mason Mount came off at half time, I was saying it. I said, well, that feels a bit harsh to take him off. That's a bit, oof. He's been our best player essentially, or really key in how we were playing like that. And someone in the comments said, Flex, you're doing too much. It doesn't matter that Mason Mount's coming off. Like, put Bruno back in his proper position. We need a 9. And lo and behold, not I told you, but our shape was completely gone because Mason Mount wasn't in the team. Now, listen, if Ten Hag took him off for tactical reasons, then that's stupid, and that is on Eric Ten Hag. He alluded to an issue that he had, you know, whether that was it seemed like an injury. So if that is the case, then fair enough, he had to make the change. But whatever the reason for the change was, what we could see was that Mason Mount was very effective for us in the first half, and he wasn't there in the second half, and that changed our game. And then also, these players, like, let's just be real, they deviated from the plan. Now, some of that is the manager not being able to get a tune out of them and, you know, get on the touchline and berate all of them and say, what the fuck are you lot doing? Like, get a foot on the ball. This is not the plan. There's a disconnect there, 100%, because what Ten Hag's trying to get across for them to do over 90 minutes, there's a disconnect because they're not doing it. But also, like what Joe was saying, it's like you can't. What, you want him to go on the pitch and say, right, we get it, like, I'm gonna make you put your foot on the ball. I'm gonna make you be calmer. I'm gonna make you mark the back post. And this is the thing where the players got to be accountable. Gary Neville summed it up well as well in that clip that where we conceded the last goal. He speaks about how the naivety of basically trying to return back to type of our normal formation when we're still in the phase of a corner or a ball that's just come in the box. You don't do that. If you find yourself at left back, you know, from a corner from where you were marking, but you're meant to be right back, you fucking stay at left back until the next phase of play, until you naturally find the right time to go across back to your rightful positions. You don't just run out because the ball's half being cleared. You make sure it's been cleared. And what Casemiro does is he just vacated the space. Yes, there was a lot on Dalot because he was way too... We had like 4 players all on a Dingra, I think it was, who crossed it. So it's naive from quite a few. I'm just saying it isn't just one person's fault. It isn't just only Dalot. It isn't just only Anthony because he was, you know, probably left back by that time. It was a collective approach whereby people forgot their jobs. People forgot their responsibilities. And those are the split-second things that go wrong. Now, there are also some nice clips, if you want to dissect the game fairly, of us playing some fucking good football. Passing out, beating the press, being patient, and having good build-up. But guess what happened after every bit of those build-up? The decisions, the individual decisions from players were wrong. Notice I'm saying the individual decisions. Not Ten Hag from the bench shouting, make sure you fuck this up. Not Ten Hag from the bench going, make sure you choose the wrong option. No, individuals. We had a breakaway where it's 3v2 and Ahmad had the ball on the right-hand side in the first half. And he had the perfect opportunity to play Rashford through. What did he do? He played it behind Rashford, which made him have to stop, basically, his run. Those things are issues. Those are the things that we're talking about, the fine margins. And you talk about fine margins. If Joshua Zirkzee is just out the way by a millimetre, we're 2-1 up and the confidence is a lot higher. Game management was poor after that. That is a mentality issue. I said it during the game. I'm like, look at Brighton, going back to type. They're not playing basketball anymore. When them 7 minutes went up on the board, it was like they went, right, let's keep calm and let's work our opportunities. We didn't do that. Again, the game management. Ten Hag wasn't on the sidelines shouting at Onana that after every time we got the ball back, quickly throw it out and let's get a counter-attack going. Those are the decisions that were made by the individuals. And that is something we've got to get into. So I just think after the second game of the season, it wasn't like we got completely outplayed from minute 1 to minute 97 and we wasn't a threat. No one looked good. There was no plan. There was no style. The players looked absolutely clueless. That's not what we saw. There were some positives there. And there are some positives to take into Liverpool. But there are also, which is fair to say, many things to work on because there was a lot of sins of the past in there in terms of negligence towards the last end of the games. Look at last year. Happened all the time. Happened against Chelsea. Happened against Brentford. Happened against fucking Coventry. Happened against Burnley at home. Last minute goals to concede. Nearly happened against Luton when we played them. It happened. There's so many we could pick out. Happened against Arsenal last year. 1-0 up, you know, and then it's 1-1 for a while. We think we've got ahead with the Garnacho offside. We don't. We can't hang on. Shit decisions, changing of the guard, and then we concede in the last minute, and then end up the game capitulating. Eric Ten Hag substitutions. I do agree with Gary Neville. You can't keep changing your back four. Pick De Ligt or pick Mazraoui. I admit that. Sorry, or pick De Ligt or pick Maguire. I get it. I get trying to, like, you know, wait for someone to earn the shirt, etc., etc. But now's the time. We need continuity. We need continuity. It's as simple as that. So my thing is, there's positives, but there's clearly things to work on. That game does not indicate why Eric Ten Hag should lose his job. What a load of crap. That's just an agenda. But if there's things to work on, I think we should point them out. We should call them out. And we shouldn't, you know, abstain from giving Ten Hag criticism. Absolutely not. The pressure is on Eric Ten Hag. If Eric Ten Hag gets off to a shit start, results-wise, he could get sacked. It's as simple as that. But at the same time, this hierarchy have come in and said, listen, we're going to be patient with this thing. And we need to be like that as well. It's no good us saying, get the manager out as the first hurdle, the first loss. Yes, it was pissed us off. Yes, it was annoying. Yes, it can ruin the rest of the weekend. Yes, you got to hold that from the rivals and blah, 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 blah. But there's a bigger picture than that. A much, much bigger picture than that. And we can see elements of what we're trying to do. The season will tell. Game by game will tell if we can do it for longer. But right now, as of 2 games, it's ridiculous to say this is why the manager's clueless and needs to get sacked, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys are saying. That's my thoughts on it. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you very, very soon. I'm out of here. Peace.